today, Courtney and I are going to be talking about the foods you can eat to make you feel smarter, to help you be smarter and more decisive and just sharper overall. So, Courtney, I wanted to ask you, do you ever have days where you just feel dumber than others?
Obviously. Doesn't it, right?
Like, you know yourself to be a smart person, but there's some days where you just feel dumb. Things take you longer, you struggle with your words.
Right. And then there's some days when I know I ate things that I should not have eaten because, do I feel bad afterwards.
Heck yeah. So that's actually the point, is that a lot of the time you struggle to work well or study or learn or even just engage in conversations with others. It has a lot to do with what you've eaten in the last 12 to 24 hours. So here are the foods you should eat when you want to feel smarter and be smarter and work more efficiently, whether you're working or studying.
Yes.
All right, so Courtney, kick it off.
All right. So first thing that you're going to want to consider is bulking up on protein. Making sure you're getting enough protein in your diet every day is super helpful. There's various sources of lean protein: white fish, plain Greek yogurt, beans, peas, lentils, poultry without the skin, and eggs. Proteins are the building blocks for so many things in your body. Your muscles, your bones, they play a big part in your hormones and obviously in the processes that are going on in your brain that you have no idea that are happening. They just happen. So definitely make sure you're getting enough protein.
Yeah.
Every day.
And you don't have to be carnivorous to get protein, as we covered. There are tons of vegetables that have protein in them, legumes and stuff like that. Cool.
Yes.
We're ready for the next one.
Number 2.
All right, another source of food that is really important for clear thinking are the healthy fats. You know what these are: avocado, nuts, salmon, mackerel, tuna.
Omega-3s.
Omega-3s, extra virgin olive oil. These are so important for brain health. We cannot iterate that enough. So if you are not currently taking some kind of supplement, it could be worthwhile, especially if your 9 to 5 is studying and learning. If you're in college or school, it's really important that you get a good and regular source of those omega fatty acids in your diet. Another cool little hack, before we move on, is that when you think about the healthy fats like olive oils, extra virgin olive oil, if you cook them to a certain temperature, they actually become unhealthy oils. So just bear that in mind, that you really should be consuming your extra virgin olive oils and healthy oils uncooked. You could even just take a teaspoon of one a day. Tip number 3 coming at you hot from Courtney.
All right, you should be consuming tons of antioxidant-rich foods. So think like colorful fruits and vegetables. Each color represents its own set of vitamins and minerals. So if you're coloring your plate, you're doing a really good job getting these in. You're going to want to look for berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, those kinds of things. Make sure you're getting some dark leafy vegetables and cruciferous vegetables.
Cruciferous, right.
Vegetables,
Well done.
yes. Broccoli, spinach, Swiss chard kale, all of those good things.
The more colorful your plate is, the better. You should not be just eating brown food.
Or yellow food or orange food. Like, you should have variety.
A variety. So tip number 4, foods you can eat to be smarter, is to choose complex carbohydrates. These are the carbohydrates that take your body longer to process, which means that the sugars they're getting from them, it's more of a slow drip feed of sugar to your body, to your brain, because remember, your brain eats glucose, and in fact glucose is the only thing that your brain consumes. And so those complex carbohydrates give a nice slow steady drip feed of glucose, which will help you stay alert for longer instead of spiking your energy.
Yeah, they take a lot longer for your body to break them down, which means it's going to sustain you a lot longer.
Yeah.
Your body isn't just quickly breaking it down and using it for energy. So.
Right. So those would be things like whole grain breads, rolled oats, whole wheat bread, legumes, fruits as well count as complex carbohydrates, and vegetables. Yeah, so those are definitely some of the foods you should add to your plate.
All right, number 5. I know most of you have probably heard this before a million times, but staying hydrated is so important. If you didn't know this, your brain is about 70% water. So staying properly hydrated definitely improves your cognitive performance and you just will think more clearly. Having that big glass of water right next to you at the start of your day just helps you clear your mind so you're not in that brain fog for the first hour.
Chug a glass of water the first thing you do when you wake up. It will make you feel so much alert so much quicker. Yes, we all swear by this hack. It's the simplest thing you can do to wake up faster in the morning. All right, so the next tip is to avoid sugar overload, and if you're capable, to avoid sugar altogether. The research is showing increasingly that sugar really is a toxin for your body, unless you're getting it from natural sources like those complex carbs and like fruits. Trying to be productive and work and think clearly when you're in an energy slump is incredibly hard. So don't do it to yourself. Just try and cut out sugar as much as possible. I used to take 2 sugars in my coffee, and I'm now down to 0. And yeah, I'm so proud. Yeah, so try cut sugar out of your diet.
Awesome, yeah, and just be careful with like fruit juices. They harbor like tons of sugar that you don't even realize. Obviously, some people are diabetics and you need that quick boost, so use that when you need to, but just be careful if you're not diabetic. So we talked about complex carbohydrates earlier. What you should know though is that you should avoid refined carbohydrates. You want to minimize your intake of these as much as possible. So these are things like white bread and white rice and your processed snacks. So like the middle of the grocery store, you should try to avoid that stuff when you can. All of these like processed foods and the white rices and the white breads, they can lead to energy crashes and just causing you brain fog, worse cognitive.
Just derail your mind.
Your whole day can go.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever like slammed a pizza into your face or like a bunch of white bread and like you notice an hour, not even an hour later, like pretty soon after, like you need to go into hibernation or have a nap, that's why. All right, tip number 8 for improving your ability to focus or just learn more efficiently is to limit your greasy fried foods. You're from South Carolina.
I am, and we do love to fry up some food in the South. Talking about that butter earlier, we definitely love butter in our recipes.
So we all love a little greasy fried food. So treat it as a treat. It's a treat. It shouldn't be a staple of your diet. And if you have a major exam or if you have a job interview or if you have something that's important where you need to be really focused,
project,
don't eat crap the day before. It's just a simple thing you can do to improve your game. And yeah, choose healthier cooking methods like grilling, baking, steaming, or air frying. There are all kinds of ways to get delicious, crispy food without actually deep frying it in oil. Tip number 9.
All right, you should practice mindful eating habits. Be aware of your eating habits. So aim for a balanced diet overall. Remember, everything is okay in moderation. So like you don't have to completely cut out everything all the time. Like a little bit of some things is fine.
Yeah.
But avoid your regular eating patterns. Like try to stick with similar things every day.
Yeah.
Definitely stick with like regular eating times.
Yeah.
And anytime that you can get like better brain boosting, like the foods that we have talked about already.
Some other tips in the vein of mindful eating is a colleague of ours has a really tiny little spoon that she will eat her food with that compels her to eat slower and more mindfully. So that's something you could try, is to use smaller plates or smaller cutlery. It'll help you eat slower. I know I tend to wolf my food down. Be more mindful and you will register when you're full sooner, and meals will become more fun for you.
Right. And drinking like a glass of water like before you start eating, like drinking a full glass before, it'll like help satiate you so you won't overeat.
Right.
Because you'll already feel kind of full.
Remember, it takes your, about 20 minutes for your tummy to tell your brain, whoa, I'm full, okay, stop. And by that point, you've already eaten the other half of the bag of Doritos. Okay. Our final tip for you guys.
Tell people about that.
We've all slammed a bag of Doritos at some point in our careers. So our final tip today is alcohol. We need to talk about booze. Booze, you don't have to cut it out necessarily, but like, let's be honest, alcohol is never good for your brain. There is no time at any point that alcohol is good for your brain. So if you can moderate your consumption, at best, don't consume booze if you need to focus, or if you have something on the next day, something important, just cut it out. But you probably already knew that. All right. So those are our 10 tips for thinking clearly, the 10 foods that are great and bad for your brain. So we really hope that helps you rise to your challenge, whatever that challenge is. Y'all take care now.